Hello and welcome back to the channel. Now today's video is going to be a slight departure from the sort of videos that I traditionally do. Traditionally I do videos about cryptocurrencies, money making ideas, that kind of stuff. That is what this channel was set up to do, and that is where my interests lie. Now, however, I am forced, well, I'm compelled rather than forced. Nobody forced me. There's no gun held to my head, you know. So I feel compelled though to make this video just to catch you up, or to bring you up to speed with what has been going on YouTube. Now, you're obviously watching this video on YouTube. I am, to all intents and purposes, a YouTuber. Not really, no. I've only got a couple of videos which I just do for my self-interest. Obviously there's money considerations there, but this is more like a self-interest kind of channel. Now, I started this channel off in July this year, so a couple of months ago. So now when I started this channel off, I set it up, went through the processes, and then I discovered that YouTube has introduced some new rules to how channels are meant to operate. Now they've introduced a new system which says that, well, they've introduced a whole raft of new policies, but one of the key policies is that a channel has to have had 10,000 views or more before the channel can be monetized. So why have they done this? They did this because there are concerns about the sort of contents that are being posted on YouTube, and that's fair enough. You're thinking free speech and all that, but some of these contents do actually cross that line of free speech to being offensive. Now YouTube has to monitor this, and not only do YouTube have to monitor this as their social obligation, they are also under pressure from advertisers to monitor this. So you have instances where you have Coca-Cola adverts showing on an ISIS video which has been monetized, and really the correlation there, I don't think the association is mutual on both parts. You know, I'm not sure if ISIS wants to be associated with Coca-Cola. I'm sure they're glad for the money, but I know for certain that Coca-Cola would not want that thought link between their product and ISIS. So this had been going on, and advertisers have been having concerns. So it all came to a head, however, with a chap, when a chap rather called PewDiePie posted a video that was deemed to be anti-Semitic. Now, who is PewDiePie? I'm sure most of you know who PewDiePie is. PewDiePie is the biggest name on YouTube. He has over 57 million subscribers. That's right, 57, 57. So not 57 as in the true unitary digits, but 57 million subscribers. Now, if you think that the population of the UK is approximately 60 million thereabout, this guy effectively governs a nation in terms of his subscriber numbers, the size of the UK. So this is a hugely influential person. So this chap PewDiePie put out a video which was deemed to be anti-Semitic, and the reason why it was deemed to be anti-Semitic was because it was anti-Semitic, and it was not subtly so, it was directly and overtly so. So this chap put this video out. The whole of YouTube was up in arms. The advertisers were banging at the doors, ads were being pulled from other YouTube channels. There was a significant drop in ad revenue as advertisers suspended their accounts whilst whilst pressuring YouTube to put some measures in. So there was that huge dip in advertising at that period. This was earlier on this year. So there was that huge dip in advertising on YouTube. The YouTubers called it Adpocalypse, you know, like a play on word, Adpocalypse. So there was that period then, and there's a significant drop in income. Incomes were dropping by 50%. Measures were being put in place, and one of the measures that was put in place as a result of that video that PewDiePie put out was this new criteria for hitting 10,000 views before you're able to monetize your videos that I spoke about earlier on. So this is a direct consequence of that video. But just in all fairness, in the spirit of fairness, it was not entirely solely down to that chap's video, PewDiePie, but his was the tipping point. So that was the final video effectively that tipped that decision to bring in this new raft of measures. So who is this PewDiePie? This PewDiePie chap is a 27-year-old, 28-year-old, late 20s Swedish guy. Lives in Sweden, lives in Brighton, lives internationally, like a global citizen type of fella. So this chap is he started off as a YouTube gamer, you know, those Minecraft, you know, playing computer games kind of thing. Now his channel blew up, has 57 million subscribers. As I said, now if you think that YouTube is advertisement led, so you put out your content and then you sell space on your content to advertisers, and when an advert is put on your content based on certain criteria, you get a certain amount. So now if you think somebody who's got 27 million following, putting out content, all of it are monetized, then you can see the sort of income that this guy commands. And he's been doing this for 7, 8, 9 odd years. I don't know how long, but I know that it's close to 10 years that he's been on this game, and he's been big for most of it. So you can imagine the sort of fortune that this Swedish fella must have made of YouTube. Now, he created that environment which led to that crisis, which led to a dip in income for a lot of people, and the consequences of it are still filtering through. Now on YouTube now, apart from the fact that you have to hit a certain benchmark before you're able to monetize your content, the monetization now is even now more stringent. So you can either have a content that is deemed not monetizable because of whatever is in it, and then you have a content that is fully monetizable, and then you have a content that is not monetizable to certain types of advertisers or certain types of products. So you have effectively a traffic light system now that's been introduced, and all of this new raft of changes have come off the back of the antics of this this little mini Hitler from or wannabe. That's not a fair comment. That's my thoughts on him, but that perhaps is not a fair comment to make. Well, it is a fair comment. It's fair for me. It might not well be fair to your political outlook, but I find the guy quite is not of form actually. I find the guy in poor taste. Okay, so this whole new raft of policies were introduced to try and manage and tame the platform, which runs contrary actually to free expression, because YouTube really is, if you think of YouTube as a cryptocurrency, it's in its purest form and its best form if it functions in the form of in a decentralized form, in a way that is not overtly and overly policed. But then we have seen how that freedom has been abused by a lot of people with this guy from Sweden, PewDiePie. His real name is Felix. This guy Felix from Sweden being the arrowhead of that abuse. So we went through that period. He did that earlier this year. The advertisers pulled out. YouTube introduced a whole raft of changes, and then the advertisers are slowly coming back in, satisfied with some of the changes that YouTube are introducing. Things are starting to pick up back again. Some of the measures there obviously are there permanently now. So the content that you can produce for YouTube has significantly changed. You know, so you are not as licensed as you were to have free reign. But that's by the by. If you're a creative thinker, then you can still creatively find full expression using working within the parameters and still not compromising on your art. So now we've gotten to this point now and we're in this situation. So now a couple of days ago, this Swedish guy, Felix PewDiePie, with 57 million odd subscribers on YouTube, has kicked off again. Now he's doing his usual gamer, whatever it is that the gaming whatnot, and suddenly started swearing. Fair enough, everybody swears, I swear, you know. So but there are certain swear words obviously that are inappropriate, and there are certain swear words that are inappropriate in certain contexts and coming from certain people. So then you had this Swedish guy shouting the N-word in a very derogatory term to use as a punitive verbal attack against somebody who he had who felt offended by. Now there was real venom behind it, so it's not just the use of the word, and we all know that there are rules around using the N-word, particularly being used by certain types of people. So there are rules around that. And I hear the appropriation argument that is being reappropriated and being rebranded, that word. But the venom with which he said it, the context within which he said it, and the personage of the person saying it has now created a new round of controversy on YouTube. So now we're in a situation again. So the whole of YouTube now is all up in panic about what this guy said. Obviously the powers that be and those powers that would be are the advertisers and the YouTubers are now aware of what this guy has done yet again. So already some of the the game producers, I don't know what they're called, the game franchises or the game producers are already trying to copyright strike him for their contents that he's used, and to ban him from using their contents. I know that one of them has actually done that, and there's the expectation that quite a few more of them would actually do that. So how would YouTube now respond? Are we going to now go through another crisis of adpocalypse, an ad drawback as yet another consequence of this silly little boy doing this again? And I find this guy the most selfish of beings. You know, then this is why I'm a bit harsh in the tones I'm using. This is a chap that has made tens and tens of millions from YouTube, richer than his wildest dreams. I don't know how wild his dreams are, but it seems as though his dreams are extremely wild just from the unguarded spillages that have been coming out of him fairly recently. But this is a guy that's made vast fortunes from YouTube, and he can walk away from it and probably live the rest of his life if he manages to do funds reasonably well. He can live the rest of his life without really having to work again and just live off investment. And this is a 27-year-old chap. So having now made your fortune from this platform, you are now trying to damage the platform because the platform is evolving in a manner that that you are no longer current with. And I say this really because I feel that though this was not a slip of tongue, this was not a moment of error. This he actually made this statement deliberately to cut controversy, because he feels that his relevance on this platform is starting to wane. And why am I saying this? If you've noticed recently over the last months, 2 months, or really this year, this platform is changing now, and there's a new vibrancy that is coming through. If you look at some of the young YouTubers, we're talking KSI Ricegum, or that kind of setup with the diss tracks, exchanging whatever it is that they do, you know. So these people are creating a vibrancy and a new energy which is changing the platform. Now this vibrancy and new energy falls outside of the spectrum of PewDiePie Felix. PewDiePie Felix cannot rap. He's not a rapper. He's a Swedish. He's a gangly, skinny guy. Not gangly. He's a skinny, skin and bone guy from Sweden. Absolutely, he's as far from rap music or diss tracks as you can possibly get. His humor is to use that kind of wry, double entendre kind of, intellectual kind of, I call it faux intellectualism. People who try to be ironic, to use irony to cover a spot of insecurity and then try and quote it in some sort of intellect. I don't buy into that. Well, I'll say bullshit, you know. Yeah, I don't buy into that bullshit, but I say it's bullshit, and there's 57 million people who buy into him, and good luck to him. But now that the space is changing, and he feels that his relevance is starting to wane, he's willing to go to this extreme to try and recapture the center ground, which I think is very selfish of him, because he's willing to jeopardize the whole lot of the platform and compromise the creativity of others who want free reign to have free expression, just so that he can remain in that spot in the sun. No, you can't remain in that spot in the sun forever. You know, you can remain in a spot in the sun forever, but the moment you sit at the top, is the moment that you know, that's the moment you start to fall from there. Because ultimately, and at some point, somebody will come along and take that spot, and somebody will then come along again and take it from him, and somebody will then come along and take it away from him. And that's how it goes. So you don't then have to go through the whole extreme and say, if I can't sit at the top, then I'll blow up the building. This guy's an extremely selfish fella. He's made a lot of money. I, for one, would not be unhappy if I saw this silly little guy from Sweden kicked off YouTube. He has done enough damage. We don't want to know the color of your politics. We are not interested in any of your right-wing bullshit. So you can piss off, clear off, and I hope you do get kicked off YouTube, because I think it's grossly unfair for everybody else to be punished just because of your idiocy. Okay, and with that, I shall leave it there. Sorry about the rant. But this silly guy, I've never really been a fan, but I can understand that he occupies a space in the landscape, and some people enjoy him, and that's fair enough. I've not been a fan because I've always found him like some sort of like faux intellectual. He says he does painting, he says he's been ironic, he says he's witty, he's double entendre, he's this, that, and the other. All these little gimmicks, pre-packaged, IKEA-like, a faux fake, it's just bullshit, you know. So but a lot of people buy into his bullshit, and that's fair enough. But stick to your 57 million. You struck into a streak there. Just do your and then just let it continue to ching in your bank. And if you want to be right wing of the screens. Be right wing of YouTube. And I'm not asking you to be right wing, but be whatever you are. I don't really give a shit if you are right wing, but be whatever you are, or whatever you want to be off YouTube. You know, so you shouldn't really be on this landscape, damaging it for people, offending children. They call him an influencer. People who have a following, they call them influencers because they have influence over the people they follow. And if you look at the demography of the people who follow him, if you think that this guy came from a gaming background, then you think that young, impressionable people following this tosser, you know, this tosspot from Sweden, you know. So it's just too much. It's too, you know. So yes, this guy, you know, he needs to curb his excesses. No one gives a damn about your agitation for relevancy. You know, you've made enough of YouTube. It's a platform that has made you. So if you have absolutely, you owe it an obligation. You owe it, that is YouTube, an obligation to maintain its integrity and stop this nonsense. This is twice this year now. Twice this year that you have created an environment that will negatively impact on people who do this for a living. I don't do this for a living, you know, because I don't even get monetized. I'm not even monetized yet. I've only got 20 videos up, whatever. It's just like, you know, a thing for me. It's just, you know, but really, you should not put yourself in a position, you should not put your ego, and I know people do, but you should not put your ego ahead of the livelihood of other people. And if you want to do that, then I think that the consequences should be quite impactful on yourself. I wouldn't even mind if you did a bit of jail time, you know, especially off the back of that the anti-Semitic comments that you made prior, you know. But whatever it is, enough is enough. My Swedish friend, enough is enough. So you curb it, you know, and if you can't curb it, then please keep it offline. And with that, I shall come back with my usual crypto videos in the next video. The next video is going to be on Steam, STEEM, which is going to be the next big thing. I'm sure a lot of you are aware of activities around that coin. So we shall discuss that in more details. I shall try and drop the video by or before the weekend. So with that, I shall leave you here and I'll share. Let me go with the heart and let me go with the heart. With that, I shall say